On a sunny day on November 1998, 8-year-old Maddie Clifton went out to play in her quiet Jacksonville neighborhood. Little did she know that happy day would be her last. Maddie went across the street to meet her 14-year-old friend and neighbor. He seemed like a normal boy, funny, friendly, always ready with a joke, but behind his smiles was something much darker than anyone could ever have guessed. In just a few hours, Maddie's playdate took a tragic turn that nobody expected. For the next week, her family and community searched desperately for any sign of the missing girl. What they didn't realize was that she was closer than they thought. What was left of her was hidden under the bed of the neighbor who had tragically cut her life short. This terrible crime shocked the nation, shattered many lives, and left one family searching for answers. What could drive a child to commit such a horrible act? Why target someone so innocent, and how could a culprit hide such an awful secret right under his own roof? Hi guys, and welcome back to Crimeco, your go-to place for unraveling some of the most intriguing true crime cases from all over the world. We're here to bring you the latest and most detailed information. And if you find this intriguing, we'll be thrilled if you could subscribe to the channel. Also, hitting the like button really goes a long way to help our channel grow, so your support means a lot to us. Now, grab a blanket for comfort and let's delve into this fascinating case together. Jacksonville, Florida is known for its sunny weather, friendly people, and peaceful neighborhoods. Lakewood, a close-knit community, was one of those quiet places with streets full of simple houses, woods, and parks where kids could play freely. In the house of 1246 Crimeco Road, 14-year-old Joshua L. Patrick Phillips grew up. Despite coming from what seems like a regular middle-class family, there was a darker side to his upbringing. Josh's dad, Steve Phillips, was known to be strict and quick to anger, possibly mistreating Josh and his mom, Melissa. Some reports suggest that Steve had issues with young girls, and Josh might have picked up on that. Despite the challenges at home, Josh seemed like a typical teenager, a decent student who enjoyed baseball and music, making his friends laugh, and no one had any reason to be afraid of Josh or question his happy demeanor. But everything changed on November 3rd, 1998, when something unthinkable happened. On that day, the lives of Josh Phillips and Maddie Clifton collided in a terrible way. In the days that followed, Josh did something extremely wrong that made him infamous nationwide. The once peaceful community of Lakewood was forever affected, and another innocent childhood was lost to a heartbreaking tragedy. Joshua L. Patrick Phillips was born on March 17, 1984 in Allentown, Pennsylvania. His parents, Steve and Melissa Phillips, worked with computers. The family had some money troubles and they moved a lot, especially after Josh's dad lost his job. After a bit of moving around, they settled in Jacksonville, Florida. Steve, Josh's dad, had some troubles with alcohol and the D word and was strict and sometimes physically hurtful to Josh and his mom. Josh also had two older half-brothers, Daniel and Benji, who didn't want to move to Florida, so the family became a bit divided. Despite these challenges, the family moved to Jacksonville. In their new neighborhood, a neighbor named Sam noticed that Josh hung out with younger kids. Behind closed doors, George had some problems spending too much time looking at inappropriate things on his computer. He also allegedly did some crazy things like breaking into his neighbors' homes and stealing. Even with these issues, George seemed to have friends among the local children, including 8-year-old Maddie Clifton, who lived nearby. No one expected the terrible things George would do to hide his problems. His room became a crime scene and Maddie's life would tragically be cut short. Was George's tough upbringing and personal struggles the reason, or was there something even more troubling behind his shocking betrayal of innocence? On November 3rd, 1998, everything changed for George Phillips and Maddie. While most people had a normal day, it became a terrible moment for these two kids. According to Phillips, Maddie came to his house to play baseball when his parents weren't at home. A tragic accident happened. Phillips accidentally hit Maddie's eye with the baseball. Afraid of his strict dad's reaction, Phillips made a cruel choice that would impact many lives. First, he took Maddie to his room to quiet her cries. When that didn't work, he did something unimaginable. In a burst of an uncontrollable rage, Phillips mercilessly beat Maddie with a baseball bat until she stopped making any noise. But the horror didn't end there. Hearing Maddie's faint sounds, Phillips got a blade and pierced the innocent soul 7 times. He hid her broken, breathless self under his bed, cleaned up, and pretended to be a helpful neighbor. For a whole week, Maddie's family looked for her and volunteers searched the area, not knowing the awful truth was right under Phillips' bed. During that time, the terrible truth was hidden very close to Maddie's sad parents, under Josh Phillips' bed. Maddie Clifton went missing on November 3rd, leading to a huge search effort with hundreds of volunteers and police looking for her in the Lakewood neighborhood and woods. Despite everyone's effort for a week, there was no clues, just heart-wrenching false sleeps. Behind the scenes, investigators initially focused on a local man with a history of assault allegations, but attention shifted to Maddie's 14-year-old friend and neighbor Joshua Phillips. Despite multiple searches of Phillips' home, police found nothing suspecting and wrongly thought odd smells were from the family's pet birds. The awful truth was discovered on November 10th when Phillips' mother Melissa noticed a leak from his waterbed. Investigating, she found Maddie's body without life under the bed's frame. Melissa rushed to get help. Within hours, Philip was arrested at school after confessing to his father that he ended Maddie. He explained it started with accidentally hitting her eye with a baseball, and in a panic, he beat and harmed her severely. He kept her breathless cell for a week while searches were happening nearby. The horrifying confession led investigators to build a timeline of Maddie's and Philip's deception. They explored whether Philip's troubled upbringing or mental health played a role in the unthinkable behavior, or if a seemingly normal teenager could harbor such evil. Joshua Phillips' frightening confession triggered a legal proceeding for a highly publicized M trial. However, prosecuting a 14-year-old for first-degree M-word faced challenges from the state. Due to extensive publicity in Jacksonville, Phillips' trial was moved to Bartow, Florida. Prosecutors argued that the crime was SA motivated, claiming Philip had a history of inappropriate remarks to Maddie and her sister, while the defense countered that clothes were removed while dragging Maddie inside, with no evidence of SA. During the trial, Philip's lawyer, Richard Nichols, surprised observers by not calling any defense witness, displaced the burden on his closing argument, asserting that Phillips acted impulsively out of panic. In contrast, Phillips claimed that Richard never seriously discussed the events surrounding Maddie's death with him. On July 6, 1999, Phillips' trial began and concluded quite quickly in just 2 days due to the absence of witnesses. After a short deliberation, the jury found him guilty of first-degree M. He was sentenced to life imprisonment without parole eligibility, the maximum penalty for someone under 18. Opinions remained divided over factors possibly explaining Phillips' actions, such as alleged abuse or psychological issues. Despite Phillips' efforts in prison, including education and tutoring inmates, the shattered Clifton family struggled to heal. While the legal saga gradually faded from headlines, its complex questions about juvenile criminality, morality, and human darkness endured in Americans' consciousness. What once seemed unimaginable became a horrifying reality, leaving scars on 2 families, a close-knit community, and the vanishing innocence of childhood. The tragic passing of 8-year-old Maddie Clifton by 14-year-old Joshua Phillips is one of the most upsetting and puzzling crimes involving young people. On November 3, 1998, Phillips unthinkably attacked and harmed his young friend without a clear reason, hiding her broken self under his bed for a week while her family searched for her. Some suggest issues like his father's alcoholism and temper might have played a role, but for many, the crime seemed senseless, a deep, unexplainable impulse leading to a tragic outcome. Even though Joshua is serving a life sentence, the impact of his crimes continues to affect the case many years later. Since the tragedy, Maddie Clifton's parents got divorced. Her father left Florida, and her mother, Sheila, has been speaking up for victims. Despite Phillips apologizing publicly in 2017 during a resentencing hearing, Sheila believes he should stay in prison, saying she doesn't get a chance to walk on this earth again, so why should he? Legal appeals haven't given much relief for Phillips either. His conviction was upheld in 2002, and despite being a model prisoner focusing on education, he was denied parole eligibility in 2018. Although in 2012, Supreme Court ruled against automatic life sentences for juveniles were unconstitutional, judges still had discretion. Citing Phillips' terrible actions, resentencing appeals in 2017 and 2020 both kept his original strict sentence. Approaching 40 years old, Joshua Phillips is still in prison currently. As the 25-year mark reached in 2023, there is a chance of renewed appeals and considering rehabilitation in the case's next chapter. But for now, Phillips is in a kind of in-between state, no longer the careless teen who committed a heartbreaking M-word, but still facing the consequences of his irreversible decision. Joshua Phillips' story is a lasting true crime tragedy that symbolizes the loss of innocence for many communities, families, and lives. His legal journey shows how challenging it is to prosecute juveniles while balancing accountability. The question remains, can someone's past mistake forever determine their future? Or can, through hardship and making amends, both inner and outer freedom be achieved one day? The story is not finished and its next chapter is yet to be written. But before you head out, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. This way you'll be in the loop for the latest true crime cases we're uncovering. We're so thankful to have you as part of our community, exploring captivating mysteries that keep us all intrigued. Stay curious and remember that even closed books hold untold pages, waiting patiently for revelation. Thank you for joining us, and we can't wait to see you in the next exploration. Until next time.